What's up, you guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over stagflation and exactly what causes it, how you can protect yourself, and why we should see it continuing into the future. So let's get right into it. So stagflation is nothing more than a fancy word that describes an economic environment where there is high amounts of inflation and at the same time low economic activity. So just think of it in the sense of like an inflationary recession where the prices of the things that we're buying on a daily basis are going up. At the same time, people are losing their jobs, businesses are going out of business, and people are going bankrupt, and it's not a very good environment for people to be in. So there's a couple of reasons why we should expect this to continue. And the biggest one anyways is with the amount of regulation that the governments are coming out with, at least here in the West, especially here in Canada. It's getting pretty bad out here. I mean, the amount of regulation that, in the construction industry, for example, where I come from, I mean, you can't go and, use a wrench on anything now without signing 10 pages of paperwork. It's completely ridiculous. And, with all that being said, all this red tape kind of in the way when it comes to producing more goods and services, we have to ask ourselves, are we going to be incentivizing business owners and businesses to, expand, create more stuff and grow? Or are we, putting a bunch of unnecessary blockades in the way where we're making it more difficult? We're disincentivizing business owners to take that risk that we need them to take in order to create more goods and services and build the economy up more effectively and efficiently. I definitely think that their answer to everything is, well, things aren't going the way that they should be because we're not regulating things enough. And, those, big, dirty, bad entrepreneurs, they're, greedy. And, we need to take control of this situation by, implementing more regulation. I mean, give me a break. That doesn't make any sense at all on any planet. At least here on Earth, and anyways, when you incentivize people to do things like, take risk and start businesses and, all that kind of stuff, people will do it if there's something in it for them. If there isn't, then they just simply aren't going to do it. It's as simple as that. So with the current political climate anyways, it's not too much of a political channel anyways, but it's really important that we, understand what's going on that front because, with the current environment that we're in now, we're not just asking ourselves, monetary questions. We're now starting to ask ourselves political questions. And that was one of the mistakes that I made back in 2020 was I didn't really understand. I was looking at, all of the economic data and whatnot, but at the same time, I kind of, glazed over and kind of overlooked the impact that, the political climate had on, markets and stuff like that. So super important to keep that in mind. So you might be saying to yourself now, Rob, that sounds terrible. That's an awful environment for people to be in. And I would agree with you. Absolutely. It's not going to be very pleasant for a lot of people, especially the people who don't understand what's going on in the world around them. And that's why you guys are here watching these videos, because you're curious about these things. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the $1 million question? And that is, what types of assets are going to do well in an environment like this? And I like to keep things super simple as usual. And I like to buy and hold things that are both scarce and have utility. So just to elaborate on that a little bit, let's take oil, for example. Oil is not just infinitely available like government bonds are, for example. I can just sign a piece of paper with, a short little blurb, a contract, I guess, saying blah, blah, blah. I promise to pay you back the $10,000 that you lent to me with some interest. And I sign that piece of paper and voila, we have, new currency created into existence. So with oil, for example, it's hard to get. There's a very intensive, mining process. Well, I guess not really mining, but there's a big input cost in order to drill new wells and get the oil out of the ground and, take it to a refinery and, refine it into gasoline, for example, or, whatever other petroleum products that you make with oil. And at the same time, everybody needs it. It doesn't matter if economic activity is high or if economic activity is low. During a recession, I still see people driving around their cars, going to work and whatnot, going to do things. So it's going to be something that's, always in demand. And like I said as well, it's scarce, it's hard to get, and it has utility. So those are two key things that I look for. When it comes to businesses and stuff like that, it's a good idea to stay away from businesses that have a lot of debt on their balance sheet. Obviously, an environment like this, cash flow is going to be a little bit tight for a lot of companies, but at the same time, the ones that don't have a lot of debt on their balance sheet, well, they don't really have anything to worry about because they don't have big payments that they have to make on debt that they owe. So super important that they have pricing power in the market and a good looking balance sheet. I should probably make a video on that as well, just how to read a balance sheet, how to analyze these kinds of things. It's not as complicated as you think. It's actually super simple. There's a couple of ratios and stuff like that that I like to use. But again, that'll be in another video coming soon. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You got some value out of it. You learned something as well. If you did, be sure to hit the like button for me. Get this video out to more people. It's free. And in the process, like I said, you'll be getting this video out to more people and, potentially helping others as well. If you guys enjoy this no BS kind of content when it comes to analyzing markets, talking about financial education and all that good stuff, then be sure to subscribe, stick around for more videos. I like to post about 2 of them a week, so be sure to stay tuned for those as well. Anyways, have a good day.